Hey y'all, my name is Taylor. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. So today I'm going to be combining two videos in one, so talking about the books that I read in April and then my May TBR for the Southern Charm Readathon that I am helping to co-host. So it's been crazy, y'all. It is May 4th. By the way, May the 4th be with you. Wearing my May the Lord be with you t-shirt that I got from Chrissy as a birthday present. So I had just had to celebrate the Star Wars Day with my t-shirt. So anyway, so it's the 4th of May and I have yet to put out my April wrap up and my May TBR. So we're just going to combine them all because I don't know where April went, but I was not with it the whole time apparently because I only read 2 books. The last week in April, my husband and my 1-year-old, we went on a trip to DC, and that was just a whirlwind trip. Lots of walking, lots of sightseeing, and just very exhausting. If you've ever traveled with a 1-year-old, you know what I'm talking about. It's just not a lot of downtime, but it was so fun, and it was our first family trip, and I so enjoyed it. But it was very tiring. I'm still tired, but it was worth it. So anyways, that is why this video is combined. I just saved myself some time. I only read 2 books, yada yada. So start with those first. So I read Jerusalem's Daughter by Jenna Van Maurik, and I did a whole vlog on this, so I won't go into too much detail, but if you want to check out my vlog, I'll have it linked in the description box. It is a doozy one. It's an hour long, a little over an hour, I think. So I'm very impressed with the response I got to it, because I was like, who's gonna watch an hour-long chatty vlog? It's mostly me talking. Like I don't know who would watch it, but people liked it, so I'm very happy about that. But so if you haven't watched it, go check it out if you're interested. But this is biblical fiction, and it's about a girl named Shamira, and she has such strong faith. She knows the Messiah is there, and this is set during the Passion Week, so it is her wish and journey to find Jesus the Messiah to heal someone in her family. And it's also a love story as well, and I rated it 4 stars. It was very excellent. Highly recommend it. Last book I read, other book I read, was Anne of Green Gables by Ellen Montgomery, and I had read this a long time ago, and I think I had read a couple more into the series. I know I didn't finish the series, but I don't really even remember much about it other than what I've seen in the Megan Follows film adaptation, because I love that one. Highly recommend if you need to watch the film adaptation. That is the one to watch. But anyways, yeah, so this is just like a warm hug. This is spring in a book. It talks a lot about flowers and all, and it's just very descriptive. Prince Edward Island is beautiful. I would love to see it in person one day, but it's just very descriptive, very spring feeling, and Anne herself just has such a vibrant, optimistic personality. It just feels like spring in a book to me. But if you're not familiar with the storyline, which I'm be very surprised if you didn't, but it's about Anne, and she's an orphan, and she is mistakenly sent to Avonlea, which is on Prince Edward Island, and this sister and brother, Marilla and Matthew Cuthbert, need help on their farm because they're getting older in age. I think they're in like their 60s. So they adopted a little boy, but it was an accident. Someone mistakenly sent them a little girl, and they just couldn't find it in their hearts to send her back, just because she is quite the person. She has some excellent quotes in this book. She just has such a way of putting things. Like, there's one point where she thinks that she's going to be sent back to the orphanage, and she's in the depths of despair. And I grew up using that phrase, and that's where it came from. And I just, this is just an all-time favorite, and so many people love this book, and for good reason. And now I want to watch the Megan Follows version again. I just love it. So I am going to be continuing with the series at some point this year. I don't know if I'll pick it up immediately or wait a little bit, but yes, if you haven't read Anne, you really need to. So what I'm reading for May, I'm going to start off with the year-long reading challenges that I'm following. The first one is Chantel's Read Your Bookshelf Challenge, which is well, I'm sticking with the Doyle side, by the way. I looked at the Montgomery side, and you're supposed to read poetry, I think, next month. And I was like, no, I cannot stand poetry. So I'm sticking with Doyle. So this prompt is a new to you author. And I'm going to try to read The Love Letter by Rachel Hawk. And I actually bought this book specifically because it is set in upcountry South Carolina. Yes, I love where I live. I love South Carolina, and I've only read one South Carolina book so far, and this one specifically is set where I live, so I'm so excited. And this is a dual timeline. It's about this actress named Chloe. She's trying to get a role in a movie that is based off of the screenwriter's family and off of a love letter. And so it's that timeline, it's the modern one, and then the historical timeline is set in the Revolutionary War period around the two people in the love letter. So that looks right up my alley. So can't wait for that one. And then Jane rates her Christian fiction readathon is a one-word title. And I have two possibilities here that I'm thinking about. Really, a lot of these, I'm just kind of throwing out some ideas, and then whatever I'm feeling like at the time, I'll pick up whatever. But right now, I'm kind of thinking of Nova, which is written by Chuck Black. It is a Christian sci-fi. And I recently read, let's see, how can I do? Recorder. There we go. Recorder. And it is a Christian sci-fi as well. And I just need more of that. And I've seen tons of people rave about this. Lately, I've seen Chrissy's vlogs, and I just need to know. And yeah, so that's one possibility, but it's like, it has it's a forever long series to me. I think it has like 8 books, and there's supposed to be more or something. And I don't know if I'm quite feeling that committed, but it looks so good. So that's one possibility. The other one is Indivisible by, I didn't write it down. What's his name? There goes something else falling. Typical Taylor, Travis Thrasher, and it is has a movie adaptation which I just bought recently, and it is set during the time of America's deployment to Iraq, and it's about one guy. He's a chaplain, and it's about he's married, like their struggles through the deployment and how he's staying true to faith and all of that. So I thought that might be fun. Well, meaningful to read because Memorial Day is coming up. So, yeah, so that's what I'm going to read. Let me get my notebook. Okay. Katie's Read Around the World-a-thon. The next one is Set in a Place You Have Lived. Love letter, y'all. Upcountry South Carolina represent. And then Oshina, her Christian romance challenge. It is going to be, well, I'm going to pick the one that is new release. And for that one, I'm so excited for this. So, For a Lifetime by Gabriel Meyer is the 3rd book in the Timeless series. One of my most anticipated reads of the year. The other one is the next book that's coming out in November. So I finally have it in my hands. I pre-ordered it, my first ever pre-order book. Cannot tell you how excited I am for this. So I am buddy reading this with Chrissy from Chrissy's Purple Library, Lindsay from Lindsay Lou Lemus on Instagram, and Laura from Cohen Cottage on Instagram as well. And I don't have words. I'm just beyond excited for that one. For the Southern Charm Readathon, one of the prompts is Bless Your Heart, an emotional or heartwarming read. Y'all, I already know this is going to be an emotional roller coaster. Check that box off. Sweet Tea, a Sweet Story. So for that one, where'd it go? Oh, I didn't even grab it. Look at me, I'm totally prepared. Prince Caspian by C.S. Lewis is the next book. It's book 4 in my journey through Narnia. So I have seen the movie, so I know vaguely it's about Prince Caspian. He's trying to take back the throne or something, and then the Pevensies get sent back to Narnia. I know anything set in Narnia, I think it's just a sweet story. The next prompt is Hot as Blue Blazes, a book set in a hot setting. And I tried to stick in the South area because this is a Southern Charm Readathon. I just felt like I wanted all the Southern vibes, so that's what I'm going for. And I have a small list for this one because I just don't know which one I'll feel or which one I'll have easy access to. So I have a little list that I will pull from depending on what's going on. So the first one is Living Lies by Natalie Walters. It is set in a little town of Walton, Georgia. So the synopsis says, everybody knows your name, but no one knows your secret. At least that's what Lane Kent is counting on when she returns to her hometown with her 5-year-old son. Dangerously depressed after the death of her husband, Lane is looking for hope, but what she finds instead is a dead body. I need to know. Another one is Edge of Peril by Christy Barrett. This one is set in a Smoky Mountain town. After hearing about a string of murders, journalist Harper Jennings realizes a startling truth. She knows who may be responsible. The same person who tried to kill her 3 years ago. Now Harper must convince the cops to believe her before the killer strikes again. So I heard about this one over on Book Talks with Mrs. Thomas. She raved about this book, and so I need to know. So I added it to my list as well. Counterattack by Patricia Bradley, and this one is set in Tennessee. And no sooner has Alexis Stone been sworn in as an interim sheriff when a serial killer dubbed the Queen's Gambit Killer strikes again, this time in her hometown. Pearl Springs is just supposed to be a temporary stop along the way to Alex's real dream, becoming the first female police chief of Chattanooga. But the killer's calling card, a white pawn, and a note with a trust move printed on it cannot be ignored. Y'all, I love thrillers. I haven't read too much of them, but all of these sound so good. And they're all set in the South. And by the way, there's a lot of thrillers set in the South. Is it just me? Like, what is it about the South that just is the perfect setting for thrillers and murder mysteries? And I don't know. So all of those would work for the Heavens to Betsy prompt, which is to read a thriller. But I'm filling that one with Never Fall Again by Lynn H. Blackburn. It is a new release, and I'm buddy reading it with Samantha. I'll have her channel linked below. But this one is set in North Carolina, and I think it's about Landry, and she has, she's an artist. She has a poetry collection, I guess, and it's just stored in a suspicious fire, and this guy helps her along the way. I don't really know. I didn't want to read all this because the synopsis was kind of, there's a lot going on, so I didn't really feel like reading all that. So that's what I'm reading. And then Chicken and Dumplings, a comfort read. So Narnia, Narnia is just comforting. Prince Caspian. And let's see, Hey Y'all, multiple POV. I think any of the thrillers would probably work for that. That's usually the case for POVs. Multiple POVs for thrillers. And then Howdy Partner, Friendship or Family. So obviously the Peonies are in this, so I'm going to use that one for that prompt as well. And then I have a couple of outliers that I may get to and just kind of plop in a prompt wherever they fit. Putting down my laptop. So one of those is A River Between Us by Jocelyn Green. This one is about a Georgia cotton mill worker, and so she is arrested during the time of the Civil War for being a traitor, and so she's sent up to the Union side, escorted by a Union soldier, and I believe love blossoms, forbidden romance. Love it. Another one is Heart of the Sea by Maria Chavis. That one is a fantasy. I think it's clean fantasy. And this cover looks really cool, and it was on the shelf for local authors at my library. Apparently she went to the University of South Carolina, and yeah, I love fantasy and I want to support a local author, so I thought I'd give that one a shot. Last one, which I don't think will fit in any prompt, but Risen Motherhood by Emily Jensen and Laura Whiffler. In honor of Mother's Day, I'm going to try and read this, hopefully finish a nonfiction this year. We'll see. It's not terribly long, so we'll see. But they do the Risen Motherhood podcast, and I listen to it off and on. And this is their book, and I figured this would be lovely to read for Mother's Day, and just a lot of good reminders in here. So we'll see if I actually get to it though. So I feel like this video was very convoluted and just all over the place, but I think that's a lot of my videos lately. Maybe it's just me. I just feel very discombobulated. But anyways, thank y'all so much for watching. If you would, let me know what you're reading for the readathon, or if you have any suggestions of books, Christian fiction or clean fiction, that are set in the South. I would love to see your suggestions and add them to my TBR. Maybe read one of those in place of one of these. I don't know. We'll see. But if y'all could let me know that would be awesome. And yeah, let me know what you're reading for the readathon. And yeah, see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.